Guten Tag, my name is George and Fly, and today we make a shift change because Bob is flying this little airplane, rocket, whatever you want to call it, and he is replacing Jebediah. And Jebediah is on the grid that we brought up in episode number 1. And today he is going to go to the real space station, the one that I have been building for quite a few months now. And I want to show you that space station, but since the ascent and docking is going to take a while, I'd like to present you a few screenshots that I have done during the next construction phase. Let's talk about the finishing of the perimeter. I'm going to make this video here a little bit smaller, and so as you can see here, there are already some fuel tanks attached to the perimeter in the corners. And I wanted to make it more like a round shape, not completely like a circuit, but a little bit less than a square. And off we go. And as you can see, there are now blue rings on the stack. Those are stack separators, and they allow me to put RCS thrusters on the end of each monopropellant fuel tank, and then put the stack separator, and after that the docking port. This is already the second flight, and you can see now there are small monopropellant fuel tanks between the docking port and the big monopropellant fuel tank, and this way they rise each time a little bit further, this giving me an octagonal shape on the perimeter. And docking was quite tricky as well. So first I jettisoned the struts, and then I docked one fuel tank, and I had to leave on the stage separator because when I fired this one off, it would destroy my whole stack and rip it apart. So the trick was first to undock the docking port, and then once all monopropellant fuel tanks were attached, then to stage them, and they would all shoot off in all directions and leaving me with a lot of space junk. I actually disabled the tracking of space junk because I think it's quite a challenge already to just build a space station. So I imagined that the solar wind is pushing in all the space junk into the Kerbal atmosphere, burning him up anyway. Here's a zoom in on the part count, and you can see 1266 parts, and still missing is the last piece on each side. It's a stack of 2 monopropellant fuel tanks, and it took me 2 flights to attach them to the perimeter, finishing it off nicely. And once that is finished, the only thing that is left is to jettison all the extra parts, the stage separators and those pylons we used for attaching the RCS thrusters to it. And everything that's left is a nice space station with a finished perimeter. When we now look into the small window, you can see we are really closing in, so let's zoom back in, and here we go. The final burn, very good. Bob is doing it right. He looks a bit scared, but it seems to be okay. So now enjoy the docking part. We have quite some docking ports to choose from. This little space plane has a docking port underneath, and I find it very challenging to steer with it if you say control from here. So I usually just leave it on the cockpit and eyeball my way into the docking port. It's supposed to be that one that is quite underneath now. A little bit on going forth and back. I think it's quite difficult because you have to go square, but I use this docking camera, which is a big help, and I can suggest you using it whenever you can. Here we are docked. Ain't that a great thing? So EVA for Jebediah. And Jebediah, of course, is on the grid, and he is making his way first to the space plane. I will park him here now, so Bob can get out of the plane. Yeah, Jebediah having fun again. So EVA, come on, my friend. Yes. I don't know really why. He's scared. I don't know really how to spin around, so I kind of fly sideways. Oh, poor him, he's scared. So, well, grab it and enter, and Jebediah is left. He's floating nicely. Yeah, having fun again. A little bit drifting forward, down, and here we go back in. Bob is there. Now Jebediah is in as well. Everything that's left is just to undock, and off we go. Well, that concludes this part, and the second part of the journey we will talk about what I have done to the lower part of the space station. So thank you for watching. I'm George and Fly. See you in the future.